again, and this time it's going to be the final part of lesson 9.1. Ooh, this is going to be a long lesson. So today we're going to be learning about subscript notation. Let's start. The nth term of a sequence can be written as U sub n. This is called subscript notation, and U represents a sequence. You read this as U sub n. Terms in a specific position, for example, the first, second, and 100th term, are written as U sub 1, U sub 2, U sub 100, and so on. Term-to-term rules and position-to-term rules may be given using subscript notation. You can work out the value of any term or the position of a term by substituting known values into the rules. Work example 3. The position-to-term rule for a sequence is given as U sub n equals 3n minus 1. What are the first three terms of the sequence? So you substitute n equals 1, n equals 2, and n equals 3 in the rule. For the first term, n equals 1. The first three terms are 2, 5, and 8. Work example 4. The term 149 is a term in a sequence defined as U sub n equals n squared plus 5. Which term in the sequence is 149? So find the value of n when U sub n is 149. 149 equals n squared plus 5. 149 minus 5 equals n squared. And 144 equals n squared. 12 equals n. The square root of 144 is 12 and negative 12 at the same time. But n must be positive as there is no negative 12th term. It just doesn't exist. So 149 is the 12th term in the sequence. Exercise 9.4. Question 1. Find the first three terms and the 25th term of each sequence. U sub n equals 4n plus 1. U sub n equals 3n minus 5. U sub n equals 5n minus a half. U sub n equals negative 2n plus 1. U sub n equals n halves plus 1. U sub n equals 2n squared minus 1. And U sub n is n squared. And U sub n is 2 to the power of n. So, the first three terms and the 25th term of each sequence are, for sequence A, it is the first three terms are 5, 9, and 13. The 25th term is 101. For sequence B, the first three terms are negative 2, 1, and 4. And the 25th term is 70. The first three terms for sequence C is 4.5, 9.5, and 14.5. And the 25th term for sequence C is 124.5. The first three terms for sequence D is negative 1, negative 3, negative 5, and the 25th term for sequence C is negative 49. The first three terms for sequence E is 1.5, 2, 2.5, and the 25th term is 13.5. For sequence F, the first three terms are 1, 7, 17. And the 25th term is 1,249. The first three terms for sequence G is 149, and the 25th term is 625. And finally, for sequence H, for the first three terms are 2, 4, and 8, and the 25th term is a really large number. 33,554,432. Question 2. The numbers 30 and 110 are found in the sequence u sub n equals n open bracket n minus 1 close bracket. In which position is each number found? So for 30, as you can see here, n open bracket n minus 1 close bracket is almost a triangular number. You just need to divide it by 2 to get a triangular number. So divide both of these by 2. 15 and 55. But 15 is the fifth triangular number, and 55 is the 10th triangular number. So, but if you do that, you get a problem. You get a small problem. Yes, as you can see here, n open bracket, n minus 1 close bracket is not the top part of the triangular number. It's actually n open bracket, n plus 1. So you need to add 1 to get it. 15. As you can see, 5 plus 1 is 6, and 10 plus 1 is 11. So the numbers 30 and 110 are the 6th term and 11th term respectively. We can check here because 6 open bracket, 6 minus 1 close bracket, which is 6 times 5 is 30, and 11 times 10 is 110. Question 3. Which term in the sequence u sub n equals 2n squared plus 5 has a value of 167? So you just calculate. 167 minus 5, because you subtract 5 from both sides, is 162. And then you take that, divide by 2, it's 81. And you know what the square root of 81 is? It's 9. Okay, question 4. For the sequence u sub n equals 2n squared minus 5n plus 3, determine the value of the 10th term and the value of n for which u sub n equals 45. So, the value of the 10th term is 2 times 10 squared minus 5 times 10 plus 3. 10 squared is 100 and 10 is 10. 2 times 100 is 200. 5 times 10 is 50 plus 3. 200 minus 50 plus 3, which is 150 plus 3, or 153. The value of n for which u sub n is 45 is 6, because this is a quadratic equation. Yes, this is a quadratic equation. We haven't learned how to solve these yet, but we will learn how to solve these in the next chapters. Not the next chapter. The next chapters. Okay? Good. Question 5. The term-to-term rule for a sequence is given as u sub n plus 1 equals u sub n plus 2. Explain in words what this means. So, n plus 1 in u sub n plus 1 is the term after u sub n. So you add 2 for the nth term to get the next term, and the n plus 1 term. Given that u sub 3 equals negative 4, list the first 5 terms of the sequence. So the first 5 terms of the sequence is negative 8, negative 6, negative 4, negative 2, and 0, with negative 4 being the first term. So that's the end of this video. Thank you and goodbye.